Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about leaky gut, and is it real? We hear leaky gut spoken about a lot these days. Everyone's probably heard the term leaky gut, but is it actually something that's been proven in the research? Well, to answer that question, what I first need to talk about is what barriers are, what barrier protection systems are in the body. So I'm going to go through a really brief explanation of what that is. So we've got a really important organ like our brain, our reproductive system, our thymus, for example, which is an immune organ, or we might have like the gut. The gut's got a barrier on there as well, so that's what leaky gut is. In fact, the brain and the gut barriers, in research, there's very common similarities there. So back to the barrier, here's the organ. The barrier is actually the group of cells that lay over the top and have really specialized roles. So we've got a barrier here now. The barrier should be specialized enough to keep infections and pathogens and bad things out, toxins out, but be specialized enough to let nutrition through, which actually feeds the organ and keeps the organ nice and healthy. So you can imagine your blood's flowing around, the barriers here between that and the organ. It needs to let nutrition in so the organ stays healthy, but we don't want to let infections and antigens and other bad things through. So the barriers in the research are actually made up of specialized cells. Not really important what they're called, but just so if anyone wants to look up more, occludins, adherens, claudins, for example, are some of the specialized cells that actually make up the barrier. So what is leaky gut and what is actually a leaky barrier? Well, in the research, we know that some people with food sensitivities and there's other toxins like certain infections we know about too now actually cause this barrier to open up. And it's been linked to inflammation, and it's also been linked to lots of other things in the research, which I'll talk about a little bit more soon. But they even know some of the particular cells of the immune system that actually come in and cause this inflammation. And some of them are called cytokines, interleukins. There's lots of other ones. I'll just mention a couple. But this inflammation that the immune system causes when this barrier opens up and we get this hyperinflammation, it causes the actual, if you imagine like a beautiful barrier, like a strong fence, for example, the barrier starts to open up and let things through that shouldn't be in there. So the key point that I want you to know is what actually happens there once this barrier is opened up. So once the barrier is compromised, things can get through to places where they shouldn't. And then it has a whole lot of potential to affect a lot of other systems and organs. So it can be really problematic for things like autoimmune issues. It can destroy some of the cells once it's opened up. And we know that, for example, in celiac disease, the actual proper little cells that help you absorb food, actually they become atrophied, or they die down, or they die off. So there's another thing there that's been really interestingly shown in the literature, that hyperexcitable brain can actually occur from this type of issue. So we know that, for example, in celiac, people that don't even have gut pain can have massive brain wind-up or irritability when we have this leaky barrier type phenomenon, or the massive immune inflammation on the barrier wall cells. So there's another thing, the zonulin pathway. Dysregulation of the zonulin pathway can increase the gut permeability and open these junctions up and render individuals really susceptible to things like autoimmune disorders, cancer, and inflammation. So zonulin is actually a protein it's like one of the proteins that make up the barriers. And we know now that gluten has been associated to open up those barriers in the research. So if you want more information, it is a complex subject, but really the point of this live is I want to let you know that leaky gut is a real thing. There's research behind it, and it can drive to some of those things I've spoken about: massive inflammation, autoimmune cancer, brain wind-up, for example. If you'd like more information on this type of stuff, it's something that we're very interested in here. Have a look at our live last week on non-celiac gluten sensitivity. There's also the blogs on our page now that you can get more information from. Go to our Little Sprouts webpage, have a look at the blogs there. If you'd like more information, if it resonated with you and you'd like to find out more about this, comment below this leaky gut, and I'm pretty happy to jump in and send you a private message and talk to some things if you'd like some more questions answered. Or if you'd just like some more information, gone through painstakingly through the research. There's lots of articles referenced in there. I'm happy to send you all that research that we've done on non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which has a big section in it about leaky gut as well. If you'd like that, just right below, love leaky gut research, and we'll get that sent to you too. We'll hook up through Messenger app, and we'll make sure we get that out to you guys. So there's lots of good information out there. We're trying to keep it really simple. If you'd like any other help about this, make sure you comment below, and look forward to talking to you guys next week. Have an awesome weekend.